Yup. Gather around, you all. I was just having. Oh, the date. The date. It is April 25th. Yeah, April 25th, 2025. There's an upcoming mayoral election in Pittsburgh. There was a discussion on Facebook yesterday. I started it. And I decided to do a voice recording that just sort of came collateral to it, to my post, my FB post. One of the two candidates is the son of former Mayor Bob O'Connor. Mr. O'Connor was a city council member for many years. He's a beloved personality all over Pittsburgh. He was uniformly adored by unions, private businesses. Everybody loved him. Pittsburgh used to have many civic organizations, not so much lately. Civic organizations loved Bob O'Connor. He was a very handsome man. He had the gift of gab. It was in his background. He had married well. Early in his career, he married somebody, I'm not going to bring names into it. The woman he married was a family member of a family that owned a string of restaurants. Bob O'Connor married into a restaurant owning a family that owned a string of restaurants. And I'm not naming the name of the restaurants. It's none of my concern. But Bob O'Connor went forward as a executive. He married into a chain of restaurants and was named an executive in the restaurant franchise trades. This was believed to be beneficial to the city of Pittsburgh, mindless of the fact that franchises were phasing out by this time. Pittsburgh's great for being 10 to 20 years out of date. Franchised restaurants were dying. They still are, but they were beginning to fade. While O'Connor was an executive with a chain of franchised restaurants. This was regarded in Pittsburgh as some sort of background for the new economy. It was not. It wasn't. Anyhow, but he was very well liked. He was handsome. He was a handsome and very well liked man. I will grant him that. I was going to share an ugly experience I had. I'm not going to asperse the religious congregation where this happened. I live below the poverty level, and I always did. I'm just a low-earning person. It's the way it is. I have some problems. No, I've had career problems throughout my life, and, I try not to play the blame game. I was looking for help. I was hoping at that time, this was about 23, 24 years ago, I was probably looking for a job at the time, or either was looking for a job or I was looking for a decent paying job. I had low paying jobs generally at the time. I was financially distressed at the time. I was hoping to meet people and make, network. Okay, I went to a religious building. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Anyway, a place of worship on a Sabbath, let's put it that way. Mayor Bob O'Connor was a guest there. I didn't know this until, at the time, but he was very gregarious and well-liked among churches. Synagogues, the Jewish community loved Bob O'Connor. Anyway, he had an excellent relationship with with diverse Jewish, Catholic, and Protestant denominations. He was very gregarious, very successful in his career. Not so much in the restaurant biz. His political career he did very well, and I digressed from my story. I visited a religious organization one Sabbath. Bob O'Connor was there. He had come with a 400-pound bodyguard, and the bodyguard was standing off to the side so as not to be obstructive or whatever. But he was there with Bob O'Connor. He went places with a 400-pound bodyguard. I think he was mayor at the time. Memory's a little scarce. I'm old. He may have been a city council person or the mayor at the time. I can't remember. I do remember the bodyguard, 400 pounds of wholesome Midwestern looking, whatever, Pittsburgh bodyguard in a uniform. Okay. I was a stranger in that congregation. I was hoping it was a congregation. I was hoping to make friends among it. I was hoping to do some networking among high-earning people. I didn't. That congregation was xenophobic. I was not, people were not very interested in me. They were not very welcoming towards me. I was not made welcome in that congregation. Returning to Mayor Bob O'Connor, he was sitting about 20 feet from me on wooden pews, if that's what they're called. Anyway, we made eye contact briefly. He looked very uncomfortable, Bob O'Connor did, when he and I made a very brief eye contact. We looked at each other's eyes, and he looked really uncomfortable. He was scared of me, and as soon as we made eye contact, he craned around and looked for his bodyguard, who was standing off to the side of the religious service that was taking place. 400-pound bodyguard. He made eye contact with me, the stranger in that community. He looked upset and scared. And he began looking for, nothing went wrong. Nobody hit me. I wasn't arrested, harassed, or anything else. People were in no way friendly towards me. This was a society of friends, a community of friends. I was not made to feel welcome with that congregation. And Bob O'Connor, as soon as he and I, a guest there, I was a guest and he was a guest. Hey, he and I had something in common that evening, 24 years ago once. We were both guests inside of a religious building, a place of worship, we will call it. Anyway, my experience was that Bob O'Connor was scared of me, a stranger, and needed to ascertain that his bodyguard was there to help him if necessary. I'm much too sweet a person to say, hey, Bob, your bodyguard is right where you left him. But I don't do things like that. That would have been disruptive if I had yelled out, hey, Bob, are you scared of me, you pussy? That would have been crass. But 24 years after that incident, I still think that pussy was scared of me. And all I was doing was trying to make some friends and get ahead a little bit in life. I needed to make friends in a prosperous and successful community. I had no such luck in achieving that goal. Anyway, my experience, I didn't meet Bob O'Connor. My experience making accidental damned near eye contact with Bob O'Connor, a much beloved figure in Pittsburgh, my experience was not too fucking good. Thanks for listening.